Gwyneth Paltrow's comparison of tweets to war. Movie star Gwyneth Paltrow is catching a lot of flack for comparing negative Twitter comments to fighting in a war. Perhaps the best response, however, comes from Green Beret and Purple Heart recipient Brian Sykes. Via Clash Daily. To Miss Paltrow. I'd first like to start out by saying how terrible I feel for you and all your friends that on a daily basis have to endure mean words written by people you don't know. I can only imagine the difficulty of waking up in a 12,000 square foot Hollywood home and having your assistant retrieve your iPhone, only to see that the battery is low and someone on Twitter, the social media concept that you and all of your friends contribute to on an hourly basis to feed your ego and narcissistic ways, has written a mean word or two about you. You've hit the nail on the head. War is exactly like that. You should receive a medal for the burden you have carried on your shoulders due to these meanies on social media. You said, it's almost like, how in war, you go through this bloody dehumanizing thing and then something is defined out of it. I could see how you, and others like you in the biz, could be so insecure and mentally weak that you could pair the difficulty of your life on Twitter to my brothers who have had their limbs ripped off and seen their friends shot, blown up, burned and disfigured, or wake up every morning in pain, while just starting the day is a challenge. How about our wives? The ones that sign on to be there for us through thick and thin, that help us to shake the hardships of war upon our return? And do all this while being mothers to our kids, keeping bills in order because we are always gone, and keeping our lives glued together. They do all this, by the way, without a team of accountants, nannies, personal assistants, and life coaches. Yeah, reading a mean tweet is just like all that. You know what is really dehumanizing, Miss Paltrow? The fact that you'd even consider that your life as an A-list celebrity reading internet comments could even compare to war and what is endured on the battlefield. You and the other A-listers that think like you are laughable. You all have actually convinced yourselves that you in some way face difficulty on a regular basis. Let me be the first to burst your bubble, a long line at Starbucks, your driver being 3 minutes late, a scuff mark on your $1,200 shoes and a mean tweet do not constitute difficulty in the eyes of a soldier. Understand me when I say this, war does not define me. It is a chapter in my life that helped shape me. Being a husband and father is what defines me. Remember, sticks and stones may break my bones but words will never be close to what war is. Terrifying. Clinton's analysis of 1984 will make you thank God she isn't president. Hillary Clinton's new book, What Happened, came out this week. For some reason, people are actually reading it. But those who are reading are bound to find something absolutely insane. In her book, Clinton references 1984, a story about an oppressive government controlling the thoughts of its citizens, and Clinton sides with the government. So let's get this straight. When Clinton read 1984, she thought, uh-oh. This is going to make people distrust government? That's the point. Clinton is so obsessed with big government, she automatically assumes they are people we need to rely on. She doesn't realize that policing thoughts makes a government evil. Maybe that's why her party wants to mandate PC culture. They don't realize how destructive thought police would be to a free society. Thankfully, this woman never made it to the Oval Office. If she did, 2016 might have become 1984. Share so the world sees what the liberal establishment stands for. Clinton may never become president, but there are more like her. Sarah Sanders asked if Trump is racist. What she said next made the whole room shiver. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders puts up with some much crap from the liberal press. She was recently asked if Jemele Hill's comment that President Trump was a white supremacist was a fireable offense. The reporter is referring to the following comments below. Here is what Sarah Sanders had to say. I think that is one of the more outrageous comments that anyone could make. Sanders said. It is certainly something that I think would be a fireable offense by ESPN. ESPN hasn't fired her. They just reprimanded Hill and put out the following statement. The comments on Twitter from Jemele Hill regarding the president do not represent the position of ESPN, the network said in a statement. We have addressed this with Jemele and she recognizes her actions were inappropriate. Curt Schilling was fired for making transphobic comments on Facebook, but Jemele has been given a go-ahead to say racist things about our sitting president. Share this if you think young Jemele should be fired. This is why nobody wants to watch ESPN anymore. They have gone fully idiotic and spit more political opinions than they do sport facts. Spread this everywhere and let's show ESPN that we the people of the United States are tired of this racism. Trump just gave this little boy the surprise of a lifetime, and the media is blacking it out. The little boy who offered to mow the White House is finally getting a chance to because of Donald Trump. According to Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Frank from Falls Church, Virginia, is set to mow the White House lawn this Friday. Here's the video below. Frank is 10 years old and he'll be working with groundskeeping crew to mow the Rose Garden lawn. He'll work with the groundskeeping crew here at the White House and will help cut the grass at the Rose Garden, she said. The president is committing to keeping the American dream alive for kids, like Frank, and we're all looking forward to having him here. Sanders read Frank's letter at the press briefing last month. He offered his services and even offered to bring his own fuel and batteries for the equipment. Frank is even part of the Boy Scouts of America. Pic via Fox 5. Here is Frank with his MAGA hat via Fox 5. Frank is a hardworking 10-year-old that just wants to help our president via Fox 5. Even though I'm only 10, I would like to show the nation what young people like me are ready for, the letter read. God bless this young man. It is great to see that our president is going to help him out and make his dream of mowing the White House lawn possible. The media is intentionally not showing this story. Please help get this out with the following 2 steps. Comment God bless our president below this post on social media. Share this with 3 Trump voting friends that you know. We have to keep fighting the media. We cannot let them black this out. Reporter asked Sarah Huckabee what Trump has done for bipartisanship. Her answer made him gasp. Pretty much everyone in America saw Trump's deal with the Democrats last week to get hurricane funding as a smart deal from a president who wants to work with Congress for America. Everyone except the media, apparently. During Sarah Huckabee Sanders' press briefing today, one of the reporters decided to go after Trump for working with the Democrats. He was trying to spin it like Trump was failing the Republicans by working across the aisle. Then Sarah struck back. Sarah Sanders said that President Trump has done more for bipartisanship in America in the last 8 days than President Obama did in all 8 years. She told the bloodthirsty reporters in the WH briefing room. This president is negotiating on behalf of the American people, exactly what he was elected to do. The idea that you keep trying to distort this into a bad thing is exactly why this president was elected. They were sick and tired of business as usual. They wanted somebody who would break up the status quo, that would bring people from both sides of the table together to have a conversation. This president has done more for bipartisanship in the last 8 days than Obama did in 8 years. But, knowing those reporters, they were not gonna let that go. They can let someone smear the name of their Supreme Chancellor Obama like that. Instead, one of them asked in what ways Trump was more bipartisan than Obama. Sarah was ready for them, too. I'm basing that on the fact he's actually willing to sit down with members of the opposite party, something that President Obama rarely did and certainly didn't listen to members of the opposite party. I can't think of a single time where he made a deal with anyone from the opposite side, from beyond the Democrat Party. This president is committed to do that. He hasn't just done it once, he's continuing to do that. And President Trump really is keeping his bipartisan outreach going. Tonight he has a private dinner with Pelosi and Schumer to get the ball rolling on tax reform. Thank God we finally have a president who works for and with all Americans, not just his party. Share this if you are proud of what Trump's doing.